Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am showing you my summer crochet inspo board. If you want to use my Pinterest board as your own inspiration, it's going to be linked in the description below. As always, if you recognize some of these pieces, if you know who the original creators are, please feel free to tag them in the comments or credit them down below. Pinterest is very oversaturated. I see some of my own friends' stuff out there that they're not properly credited, and that's just kind of how the internet is, unfortunately. So yes, if you know the original creator, it is always appreciated to give them credit in the comments, especially so we can find those patterns if someone wants the pattern for that piece. One, I am so sorry that it's taking so long for this video to come out. I wanted this video to come out like in March. After I filmed it after I got back from Texas, and I had some technical difficulties, to say the least. Robin can vouch for that. It looked like found footage because I was too lazy to set up my nice lights, and the light, like the lamp that I was using for my other videos, broke. So I tried to compensate with a different lamp, and it just was simply not enough light. And I was traumatized by the amount of time I spent wasted on that video. So anyway, moving on. Let me get cozy here. Moving on to the actual content of this video. We are starting off strong. I'm sorry, I'm just really upset that this video did not come out when I wanted it to. It is still only April, but I wanted to give the procrastinators time, and also not even procrastinators, but I just wanted people to have these ideas so that they could leisurely be crocheting and not crocheting in a panic to get something done in time for the summer. So yeah, good news is summer stuff, less fabric, less coverage most of the time, so hopefully it does not take as long to complete. So anyway, we're gonna start off with tops. Yes, first up is tube tops. This is so simple. Usually whenever I make a tube top, I just do a half double crochet all the way around. And if you want to do these stripes, yes, well, if you don't already know this, working in a spiral helps you anytime you're trying to do a cylindrical shape or like a tube. It helps those side seams be straight because there are no seams, so you're not like creating a cone type of thing. So yes, working in a spiral is good, but if you want to do stripes like this where it is clean even rows and you're not kind of guessing where that row really ends, what you need to do is when you get to the end of your row, turn your work. So I mean, I don't really have anything in my hand to show you that, so I don't know why I said so like I was going to show you how to do it. But if you want a tube top tutorial, let me know in the comments. I would love to make a tutorial. So yeah, I just love all these variations of the tube top. Like this one with the stripes has a lace up back. Yeah, actually I just realized that it's not even technically a tube top because it doesn't go all the way around. There's still some room. So if you're making it for a friend or something and you don't really know their size, you can kind of guess, and then you have a lace up option as well. Another one where you can kind of get a little creative with it, add some variation, is not only the stripes but adding the ribbing to the top and the bottom. You can also make the ribbing a little bit tighter. Like you can do your tube top and then make the ribbing portion shorter, and then when you attach it, it'll be a little bit more scrunched, but then that way it kind of adds a stretch too. Also, I just thought about, you could add some elastic to your tube tops, at least at the top of it, so that you have a little bit more trust in your shirt, in your garment. Some other variations are, I know it technically at this point is not a tube top anymore, but adding the little halter straps, again, if you're kind of not really vibing with the structural integrity of your top, or you're paranoid that the girls are gonna fall out, you can add like a bikini type of strap where it ties at the top, Or if you have the cutout in the back like the first one did, you could have the straps go up, cross behind your neck, and then lace it up down the back. So I think that's a good idea. Okay, moving on from the tube top, but still staying in that same kind of structure, is this like mesh tank thing. So you can make the tube portion and then just add the mesh all the way around. I mean, I don't really know what else you want me to say. That's pretty simple. I feel like you could do lots of colors. Here's another version of this where they scrunched the center, it looks like. Yeah, they scrunched this. So they did the tube, did the mesh, and then did the scrunch in the center and added the straps. That's a good one. Again, with the tube, with the cutout, all you have to do is make one that's wide enough to cover as much as you want of coverage here, and then instead of making it into a tube top, bring the ends to the front here, make a long chain, weave that chain through, and then tie it, and then that'll get you the scrunched effect. Next is like the classic halter top. I love this like increase where it starts kind of narrow towards the neck, you have the straps coming up, and then it just increases back here. Again, this is another option where you can either increase it to the point where it ends up connecting and then you just work in a tube all the way down, or you can work back and forth and then lace up the back. So it just depends on how you like your clothes to be, if you want to have the cutout. But also, not only that, think about how these straps are going to support itself. So, you know, are you going to want to make the perfect length for your strap to go all the way to the back and not stretch, or you're accommodating for that stretch that's going to happen over time? Or I feel like what's easiest is doing the cutout back so that you can cross your straps and then lace them down the back and tie them kind of like a corset. I feel like it lasts longer for the wear and tear of the crochet top, and then you just kind of are able to control how much your straps like support you, I guess. I absolutely love this pink and orangey color combination. It looks like they did maybe 2 squares or rectangles, and then either attaching the ends to the hoop or starting from there. I can't really see because my iPad's being dumb. I can't zoom in. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You can kind of mess around with it and figure it out. I would think that they made the squares, finished it, the square for each side, had their gold hoop and the square, and basically were attaching the hoop to the square that way with maybe like some single crochets, because that way if there's a stitch for every square, but then you scrunch all of that, like you push all those stitches down, that's what's going to give you the scrunch effect. I hope this is making sense. I know it's hard to like visualize for some people without actually doing it in front of them. I don't often use patterns because I can just kind of look at something and be like, oh, I think they made it like this. Not everyone can do that. I think that you can, though. I believe in you. I think it just takes practice. It might not come naturally, but I think it just takes practice. I'm going to move on from this top, but I love this color combination. I am hoping to do more pink and orange things this summer, but like not in a Dunkin' Donuts way. Next is these like, I'm just going to talk about tops where you kind of use like bra cup shaped things. First up is this yellow top. There's all kinds of patterns and sizing methods and stuff you can find on Pinterest and YouTube about how to make these cups. I'm not even going to get into that, but this one looks like it does that method, but instead of having it where the pointy part is up at the top, they just rotate it at 90 degrees, and so it's covering this way, and then you make your band around. I think that's really cute. Another of the two like rotated bra cup ones is this. Again, they use this hoop thing that I'm sure you can order on Amazon or get it through Michael's or whatever, but they added pearls. Ugh, I love that. I love this adding of the beads, especially with festival season and everything. I think this is such a great idea and something that's really not going to take that long. Making these bralette cups is like goes by so fast. If you don't know how to add beads to your crochet work in this way, like the beads are added onto the yarn through crochet, if that makes sense. Let me know if you want a tutorial on that too, because I know how to do that. Next is basically that same bralette cup shape, and then just doing some half double crochets around and adding stripes, and like the scalloped edges I think are really nice, and then that way you have more coverage and then it ties in the front as well. So I think this could be a cute cover up idea for the beach or something. I don't know. Another good one is these triangle cup shapes, and then they clearly just added like a strap at the top, strap on the side, like a strap at each corner. I mean, I don't really know how they did. They could have done just the strap at the top and strap on the inside and then use the top ones to lace up the back. I don't know. I think you can modify that to however you can modify anything to however you want it, but I don't really know how they did the back. And then the front is just like these chains. I mean, it looks a little more intricate than chains. It looks more mesh like. And then they tied it with a bow. But I like the idea of having like a two-tone. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Moving on to this crochet thing, top smock thing, where it's just a rectangle, and then you could increase to have it more of like a correct curve under the armpit, and then have the neck cut out. But I love this ribbing texture. I love the ties on the side. I do think it's a bit warm for summertime. This is probably more of a transitional piece. I know it's cropped. It doesn't have that much coverage, but it does look like a thicker stitch. It doesn't look super breezy. I'm hot-natured. I'm in North Carolina. It's humid here. I probably will not be wearing this in the summer, but I think it's a very cute idea. Another somewhat easy one I feel like is this square halter top, or like a diamond halter top, where you have a square and then just rotate it, and again it looks like that. Those straps coming out of the neckline just probably lace up the corners on the sides. Our last top, and then we are moving on, is this tank with this wavy stitch. I have never done a wavy stitch before. I don't know if I'll get around to making this, but I just love the textures. I love the colors. It's just fun. It's just fun. It's giving ocean waves. It's giving heat waves. It's giving summer. Yeah. So that is it for the crochet tops. Okay, I know I have said moving on like 20 times, but we are actually moving on now to the dresses and skirts portion of the Pinterest board. We're going to start with the skirts because I only have like two. Nothing crazy here, just a ribbed waistband, and then it looks like some half double crochets around. Yeah, pretty simple. Again, I feel like this is more of a spring thing, not a summer thing. Don't be fooled by that it's short. It is still kind of thick and can get very hot. So, again, I'm hot-natured. I could not do this. I would be sweating, especially with like acrylic yarn. Girl, bye. Hell no, I'm not doing that. This looks like it's not even really... It's definitely not crochet, but I just thought that the pink and orange... Oh, the pink and orange... It's a vibe. It's giving sunset. It's giving Care Bears. It's giving... What more do I need to say? It's giving... Then I want to talk about this long dress, and it kind of looks a little meshy, not super meshy. I love the earth tone colors. I love this. Again, I think that this is very like ambitious, beginner friendly. This is a stitch that you probably already know as a beginner. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just ambitious in general because I'm like, if you're a beginner, but like you can watch YouTube tutorials, so it's like, does it matter if you're a beginner or not? Like, I don't have a good gauge of that, but I don't know. I think if you've made a couple of things and you've figured out how to tell where your row has ended and you're not still making pieces that are like, then I think you could handle this dress because really you're just working in the round and then you're going to increase for your hips and then just go straight down again. I mean, it just does not seem that intense to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I believe in you. I think you can do it. I know that you can do it. Next is this white summer dress. I think it's so pretty. I think if you use like a crochet thread or a cotton yarn, you're definitely gonna have to use a cotton yarn because it's gonna be too hot to not use a cotton yarn, as I said before. I can't even really tell from this picture if this is crochet or if it's just like some fast fashion thing where they do that mock crochet stitch. It doesn't matter. You can get, what I'm really looking at with this dress is the shape of it. So the really long like plunge neckline, I'm thinking that whole like, I'll add some sort of annotations. I don't know that I will, but I think from this portion all the way up is one piece and then you start the skirt of the dress, and I think that's pretty easy. You can get as detailed with the stitching as you want. I wouldn't go too crazy because I'm lazy when it comes to that. My iPad's frozen. Crochet thread would be absolutely insane. I have never worked with that before. But I was looking at it at Michael's today and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so great for clothes. But it would take forever. It would take forever. I don't know if I could do it. If you've used crochet thread before, let me know what you thought. I'm very curious about that. Moving on to this beautiful brown mesh dress. Again, it does not look too incredibly difficult. And I think you can skip some of the details like the scalloped edges, anything that looks like it's not quite in your skill set yet and you're like, I just want to make the dress. Guys, you don't have to follow everything to the T. Like, just make it the way that it works for you. You would probably make this in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So the front pieces would be 2, the back would be 1, the sleeves would each be its own piece, and then the skirt, again, I would just work like in rows all the way down. It looks like the top portion they did start here and then increase a little bit. I don't think it's as much as it looks in the picture. I think it comes in a little bit more and then does probably go straight down, but because she probably joined them at these seams first and then stitched together here, that's what's making it. And then obviously the chain that is being used to scrunch it more also, not to mention that respectfully her girls are a little bit huge. So I think that, yeah, I think it's a little bit smaller than what it needs to be. Then it got stitched together here, and then it got pulled tight together up here as well in the center. So if you want to make your girls look a little bit bigger than what they are or accentuate them, then maybe you can use that method. Anyway, then you could do the sleeves, working in a spiral for the first part of it to make it more straight and then increasing. I don't know. I'm not sitting here trying to break down every single one of these. I don't even know why I started doing that. Yeah. The only thing about this mesh stuff is, again, we need to be using like a cotton or a linen yarn or just a really, really lightweight yarn in general. I have made some summer stuff, even bralettes. Guys, using the acrylic yarn and like a weight 4 yarn is too thick. At least for me. You're gonna have to wash it like 100 times before it finally breaks down and gets soft and isn't too incredibly hot, but it still is very warm. I think you need to be using something very thin, and if you're doing mesh, do cotton or linen. Don't be fooled by the mesh. It's hot. Another mesh item I have is this like electric blue dress. Again, you can make anything I'm showing you, just make it in whatever color. But I love this backless thing. I'm really curious to know what the front of this looks like, if it's full coverage. Guys, it is 10:30 and I'm a sleepy girl. Okay, I'm curious to know if it's like full coverage or not. But I like the hemline and I like the backless portion of it. This yarn is ridiculously thick. I love the texture and everything. Not functional for me though. You would not catch me in this in the summer. Absolutely not. Last one is not really a dress, but this skirt, I like the idea of doing a more, like a stitch with more coverage for the main part of the skirt to cover, you know, as my high school freshman English teacher used to say, cover your Christmas. She said that a lot, but yeah, you can cover your Christmas, as she used to say, and then do the mesh portion for the rest of it. I think that's a great idea. I don't know why I never thought of that before. And then even though this is a 2-piece set, what if it wasn't? Like, what if you made it all the way down and it was a dress and the bottom part of it was mesh? And that is what drew me to this pin. Again, you don't have to make it in a dress. You don't have to make it in a 2-piece, but I just was like, oh, that's a good idea for a dress. Moving on to bottoms. I don't really have much. I just have these shorts that I am obsessed with making, and actually I made some already. They're not striped in the way that this picture is, and they look huge, but they do fit. I just decreased this a lot because I didn't want it like, I didn't want my shorts in places that it was not supposed to be. Okay? I don't like that. But yeah, making shorts, super fun, super easy, as I mentioned before in my 2025 creative inspo video. They're just so fun to make. So if you want a tutorial on how to make crochet shorts, let me know in the comments. This mesh wrap skirt, again, use cotton or linen, but you could do this a bunch of ways. You could make a mesh triangle, you can make a mesh rectangle, and just have the chain at the ends and use that to tie it up. Super easy. Okay, moving on to the men's portion. Unfortunately, there's not that much, like, I feel like inspo for men's clothes in general, like, let alone crochet stuff. So some of the stuff might be like fast fashion where it's not really crochet, but you get the idea. Like, you get the vision, hopefully. I just saw some of these, like, and was like, oh, I like them. I should make a men's portion of my Pinterest board. Okay. Anyway, I love this mesh vest type of thing. Again, probably more of a transitional piece than anything. I would not be wearing this in the dead of summer, even though it is mesh. It's too hot for that shit. Like, we're not doing that. But I love these earth tones, like just the neutrals of the brown and the cream. Great idea. Great for a festival. Not for me though, because again, I would be dying because it would be too hot. But anyway, this mesh vest, again, a different type of mesh vest. This 2-piece set, this is clearly not really crochet. I think this is like make pretend crochet, but you get the idea. A crochet 2-piece set for a guy's top, which Actually, Robin made one very similar to this for her boyfriend, and it turned out so amazing. Maybe I will make one for my boyfriend. I feel bad that I haven't really made him a crochet thing in a while. But also making clothes for him, it's fun, but he's also like a giant compared to me, and so it takes 5 million years to complete a wearable project for him, and I just get discouraged because it's not rewarding for a while until it's finally done, which I've never really gotten to that point because I give up. I'm sorry, babe, if you're watching this. I still love you. It's just a lot of work, and I'm just a girl. Another shirt is, again, you guessed it, it's mesh. But it has a collar, and it's more of a pullover, it's more of a jumper. So yeah, kind of switching it up there. Before we move on to the accessories, I want to show the Sentro knitting machine portion of this Pinterest board. I know that's not crochet, it's literally knit, but I'm not making a whole separate Pinterest board for this. Again, more tube tops. This one, you make your tube top, and then guess what? You scrunch it in the middle, and that's so cute. It's giving Y2K. Another little Y2K-ish one is doing the same thing, but it's cut out in the middle. Again, tube top, but make it a halter top because you added straps, not stripes. Then this one, you would make your front panel, make your back panel, stitch it up the sides, and you're good to go. Okay, we breezed through the center section. I hope you loved it. Moving on to the accessories of the Pinterest board. This is the last portion of the Pinterest board. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want me to make more videos like this, please be sure to like it and give it a thumbs up. That's the same thing as liking it. I don't know why I just said that. And leave a comment down below for the next video. Okay, first, pretty obvious, the bucket hat, but I have made the mistake of making bucket hats with acrylic yarn. Guess whose head was like on fire? Mine. It was not comfortable. I think something more of a granny stitch with a cotton yarn is way more functional for the summer, and it's durable and it's gonna hold that shape without it being too hot. Also, like, I feel like cotton yarn just gives beach, gives summer, because I don't know. Another good way to do this, I feel like, is, again, a mesh stitch. I've not tried something like this before. Yeah, I've not tried something like this before, but I feel like mesh would be the way to go. The only thing is, like, maybe you'd get a weird tan line right here if you wore it for too long, but I don't think so. But I really like this because you're protecting, like, the top circle part that covers your head is going to protect your scalp from the sun, but the holes from the mesh, especially that big of a gauge for the mesh, is going to be way more breathable. At least for me, like, my hair is so thick, and with a hat on it too, it's just entirely too much. I cannot deal. Another mesh hat, but it's more like a cap thing, but I do think that this is so Y2K, it's so adorable, it's so everything. I love the charms on the ends or like on the edge as well. I think that's a very nice touch, and adding beads or charms to anything I feel like makes it extra summery. So yeah. Last but certainly not least is the mesh bags. I feel like are perfect for the beach. I feel like they're perfect for farmers markets, which everyone usually goes to during the spring and summertime. And that is something that, you know, you could make for a friend and you don't really have to worry about it any sizing or anything. It's going to work up pretty quickly and it's functional. So you don't have to worry about them wearing it or not because it's a bag. Why wouldn't they use it? Everyone has things that they need to tote around. Okay, y'all, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm so sorry that it took so long to come out. I hope to have this out to y'all soon, but definitely before May. I am in the photography world, it has been picking up with business, which is good. I'm very excited about that because I am. Let me speak more confidently. I am going part-time with my full-time job. It's just been way too much. I've not been able to be my full creative self, and I, don't have kids or anything. So I feel like if there's ever a time to take a chance on myself, now is the time to do it. So there's going to be a lot more videos of pretty much all things creative, especially crochet and photography. So if you like photography, check out my vlog that I put out of my best friend's bridal portraits. I will have another vlog soon for the photo shoots that I just had last week, and hopefully more photography content in the future if you're into that. So thank you in advance for all the support. I know that my dreams will come true. I'm very determined, and with the help of everyone who's been supporting so far and who will join us in the future, I know that we can make it happen. So I am very excited to see what's in my future. So if you make any of the ideas for my Pinterest board, please tag me in it. I'd love to see what you're up to this summer and what you're making. Again, please feel free to use my Pinterest board as your own inspiration. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.